Hello, my name is Dominic Underhallhouse and welcome to another episode of Moonbreaker. In today's episode we're going to be looking at going back to another Extilior list, so it's a variation of one we've done previously. It's the Extilior Stitchy list before, and what we've got in this list. So there's one small change, it's something I really wanted to try out, just as sort of a test for a certain synergy I suppose you can call it, but it's a pretty obvious one, but I think it could really work well in this list. So we're starting out with our early drop being Maximus. We've got Deadeye as our usual follow-up here as well. And previously we had two options for a 3-drop, so it was going to be either Blindsider Eztli for that aggressive start, or potentially we also had Snareling in here as well. So we've actually taken out Snareling, and what I've replaced it with is Beatris. The reason I've replaced it with Beatris, so Beatris is tanky, tough to deal with and that sort of thing, and we've got Stitchy McPatchy in our list. So Stitchy previously has been really good for healing up things like Shrapnel with the armour. We've got Extilior in here as well, so really good for just keeping that longevity going. But the idea of using Stitchy to keep healing up a Beatris every turn means that we can really just use her to block absolutely anything we want to. Entire routes can be blocked off, lines of sight, and I think this is a really good use of Beatris as well. So something I want to try out here as well. We've got Florio Lancer to help in the end game, so Florio is now becoming just a very staple endgame unit. It's one of the better ways to finish things off. You can do it from a huge distance. It's a lot of cinder investment, but very powerful. We've got Quetzalli here to just close up those little gaps as well, and get ourselves to that very final stage of the game. So I'm going to jump into a couple of games from here. Hopefully we can have a bit of fun with it. If you like these sort of videos, if you've liked everything you've seen so far over the holiday period, please do hit that subscribe button. It really does make a difference. Over the last few days we've actually had a really nice little influx of subscribers, so thank you to every single one of you who's joined. I've been checking the notifications. It's been a really nice little morale boost coming up to the end of the year, so thanks to every one of you, and I'll see you once we get into the game. Okay, so we found our first game. We're going to see what kind of opponent we get and see if we can use our Extilior to run straight at someone's face and deal some damage to them. So the thing I'm liking about Extilior is it plays completely differently to the other two captains. I think the way I've found so far, the best thing to do is to try and be cagey to begin with, and then sort of find the right point to turn on the opponent. I think that makes a really big difference. I actually think Stimburst and Vortex are possibly two of the best assists we could get for Extilior, and I think just the additional movement is really valuable. The Vortex is good for utility. I think here we probably want to be going first, especially moving in this direction. It gives us options of sort of maybe moving slightly safer around. Yeah, so we can move to here, stay fairly safe. We're still going to be within the smoke, giving them reduced line of sight, and we can deploy our Maximus up here and keep him safe as well. So this probably means that they're going to have to play fairly defensively, but we could potentially just move away. If they move up to here, we've got a really aggressive start as well. So the reduced chance to hit here is nice. Okay, missing is also good. If they deploy this far forward, it's probably a mine. Yeah, so this mine isn't going to live if we don't want it to. The question is, do we just Stimburst and go all in straight away? So I think it actually could be a pretty good choice here. So I'm not going to be able to get in range of, of their Zax, so I might as well just move up here, get this hit in, get Maximus to take out the, the next one hit left, and then what I think that animation on Maximus is great. So I think we want to do is just move up here to be safe, and to be completely honest, I think this is actually a turn for our Beatris to come into play. So if we just block right in here, so Maximus is going to maybe struggle to get line of sight, so maybe I should have moved a bit further down, but this is going to put us in a way better spot in terms of actually getting damage onto the enemy, especially with Vortex coming next turn. So we can move in here, we can bring Beatris in. If they play something too defensively, maybe we could even get Beatris to hit both, but I think they're going to deploy, quite far away it looks like. So Maximus I think here was our biggest misplay. We should maybe place him back this way. Okay, so they've got a Stitchy. Oh yeah, let's have a look at their paint job because it looks nicer. I think it's Marco Wolfer. So hello Marco if you're watching this. That's a pretty good start to a paint job. I think it could do with a bit more detail, but maybe that's just the animations coming through, but all in all looking good. I'm liking the black and red Stitchy on there. I like this as well, because this is one thing I like, is you can just take an existing paint job and do your own additions to it, which is quite nice. So, finding good line of sight with Maximus is going to be the issue here. So, 48% on this, that's not too bad. We should take one of these. If we get both, that'd be great. We did. Interesting. So the question here is, do we actually just go for the kill, or do we try and do something different? So Beatris is just going to keep on moving. There's no reason not to. We could just take a free hit here and try and get them to spend Cinder on Stitchy and deploy something in their back lines, or like a Blindsider Eztli maybe could come around here, could be useful. Let's try for the Deadeye. Let's go for the additional damage at this front and make them use their Cinder elsewhere. And then this way we get a nice big hit here. Like, we could potentially go for the kill, but I don't think it's worth it.
Our time is limited.
I actually quite like going for a safer Deadeye up here this turn. Strangely enough, I feel like that feels better than playing Eztli, because Eztli's going to be down here, but they've got 5 damage plus Plink on the board already, so we're not going to have a very safe Eztli here. But now we're in a position where if they're going to start racing us, we need to get our Stitchy down fairly soon. So that crit's actually a big deal as well. So here's going to be where we turn around slightly and start moving towards a more defensive deployment, but we're still going to keep an offensive game plan. So here we've actually got a nice spin as well, so we can take out these a little bit easier. That mine's not going to be an issue for us. Beatris can potentially even get in here anyway. Okay, so Stitchy moving over there, that does help them get away a little bit. I think we probably need to try and stim burst these two more than anything. Yeah, so there we go. So Beatris can come and just block this angle off. Again, this isn't going to do much here, but it's going to help. Extilior can clear this up, and we can still play Eztli, which is nice. They can grav Discus back in, but killing something I think is quite valuable here. I'm almost tempted actually to come down here and just take out this mine. I think this is actually the better option. If we get a crit, it'd be nice, but no. So we do have to use Deadeye for it. There we go. And we are just going to deploy Blindsider. Those animations look great. Blindsider Eztli is just going to come in over here, just slightly away from Stitchy. So we've really got them backed into a corner. We'll just come back here for a little bit of safety on this side. And now I think we're in a really good spot. So we've got our opponent trapped. We are at 11. We did say we're going to try and deploy Stitchy, but it may just be we have to wait one more turn to do so, which is going to be next turn anyway. Awkwardly, we don't have enough to deploy Stitchy and something else, so depending on what else they play, we might have to go through other options. Yeah, so they can now move out slightly. Yeah, so they can run away a little, they can start healing themselves up, but again, we're not really worried about this situation. We're just worried about their units and keeping our life total high. This does not make any difference, because we're just going to move away from that mine anyway, so if they waste their 2 Cinder on this, it doesn't really accomplish anything unless they're just pulling Beatris away, which I don't think they're going to really get a chance to do very well. So this mine we can probably ignore. If we can kill Stitchy this turn, that would be great. That would be the dream scenario, and then we can maybe even just put some work in on Axel Pyro as well if we can get in range. I'm not really sure what the best route is here. Again, awkward not being able to use all of our Cinder. So we need to get a good amount of damage on this. So what if we just did... Okay, so to get 7, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we can just send everything here, but then we're missing some up here. So we really need to try and get in our spin if we can somewhere. So let's just move Deadeye here first and see. Yeah, we're just going to be short. So we're just going to start taking shots here. We've got Beatris in for this finish. I actually think we maybe even just bring Extilior around here defensively. Deploy, say, Shrapnel over here. Yeah. I think we're going to Shield of Hope ourselves here just to get this trigger off of Eztli going. Get that 4 damage in. We've got our extra movement here. Honestly, I think we just move aggressively upwards. So, again, Extilior's slightly at risk. We know they've got another assist, so it could be something like Lifeline. Lifeline would work here because it's the first time we haven't just chipped away at something really. So this could be a Lifeline turn, which we're okay if it is. Stitchy doesn't move very safely here. They're going to need to keep moving away because next turn is our Stim Burst and Vortex turn, and they're not in range here. Not in range yet for the mine. I mean, this could be an orbital, but I don't think they realise how orbital works in that case. Because, well, they do realise how it works. Most likely we just need to keep moving away. And then with 6 Cinder next turn, I think that is going to be a Stitchy turn. It's not useful. We could also Florio and just keep applying the pressure. Okay, that's great for us. Stitchy... Oh, that's not going to do it. They should have done that on Stitchy to gain an extra bit of HP. Now I actually think maybe this is a Quetzalli turn. And just start pushing damage. I mean, that we can just leave alone, actually. So if we just spend our Cinder for Blindsider Eztli, then that doesn't accomplish anything. So we're going to Stim Burst. We don't need to Stim Burst the range unit, so we'll just Stim Burst these.
Assistance.
We'll pop Shrapnel up here. Just start getting shots in the right direction.
Good job, Barry.
So we can't quite get Eztli into range without doing something funky, basically. So we're just going to move Beatris up here, but we're going to just take our shots this way first. Because we can use Blindsider over here. And to do that, we're going to play Florio out, and we're going to use a Shield of Hope again. So just, again, we're taking another turn before playing Stitchy. It's not quite what we'd ideally be choosing to do here, but if we just place Florio somewhere fairly safe, we've got massive range. Shield of Hope. Let's go with Eztli this time in case the bomb hits it. It does get us over there, but I think we can't quite stay out of the bomb range, so we might as well just move aggressively forwards. Make sure we kill Stitchy. Extilior can just move up. There we go, as far as possible. In fact, what we can do, could even just move Eztli this way, but I actually think taking 2 damage is fine. This is what we want to do. Yeah, so we get the Shields of Hope anyway. We're going to keep putting this pressure on, and now we've really got ourselves in a great spot. Extilior's got a shield. We haven't got anything that can deal with us straight away. They could potentially triple Scattervine is all they can do, but our board presence is somewhat overwhelming here. In terms of damage, we've got 2, 4, 8, probably 10, maybe 13 damage here. So we're just short of lethal, but I think this is the point where we start just turning on the captain and start trying to chip away at that front, because any crit here... unfortunately it's just out of range, so maybe they should have deployed first. So if there's a way we can get, say, Extilior into range, that'd be great, but I honestly think we're most likely just going to be running up the centre here and just sending Shrapnel to get a triple hit. Like, this should do it. Yeah, this is a good hit here. So Deadeye can come over and just... Again, so here we're just going to start going for damage. We'll send Florio's Bombard over to get the triple. Because, ooh, maybe a triple is still a phrase. So Beatris can just move up here and can't do much, can't accomplish much, but can still move. I guess we move Extilior up here. Oh, we've actually used all our units, so we can't even do much here. So we want to get an angle onto that with as minimal interruption as possible, so let's just go for that. We did get one. So here we're just going to Shield of Hope Eztli, and because we don't have enough other abilities, we're just going to Sword of Justice to get the movement, and putting this behind Shrapnel is really useful here, because it just means that we've got that extra, make it extra difficult for them to deal with all the things we've got. Essentially, Florio being alive next turn nearly guarantees the win. We'd need one more damage if they had a toner, and that's all I can think of that can save them here. So we don't mind things passing themselves into the realm of defeat at this point, because I think we're going to be able to follow it up next turn and take something out. Oh, taking that was pretty good. Yeah, I think they maybe forgot that we had a shield. So chances are we can just get the Maximus kill next turn, and if they let us do that, we will do, because Maximus is one of our legendary rarities, so this animation should be awesome if we get the kill of Maximus. Oh, is this the lifeline? Or is it stun? Please don't stun Maximus, I want to see the cool animation. Are they just going to block us? If they block us, we'll just move things out the way and go for it a different way. Like, we're going to try and go for this awesome kill animation with Maximus, because weirdly enough, Maximus is one of the things I haven't painted. They've done such a cool little like joint paint scheme on this. I like the bits that they've left little patterns on and things. Okay, so Corrosive there doesn't accomplish much, unfortunately. So the plan here, if they pass the turn, there we go, is we're just going to Vortex. We're going to Vortex this down slightly to get Crankbait out of the way. Speed up Maximus. Oh, we didn't get a good angle regardless. So let's go.
My lucky cravat.
Let's go here.
Time to
It's
strike.
the best we got. Where's Deadeye? There we go. We're going to Ozos onto this to give us that. Yeah, it is 100%. So let's get this animation going in nice close-up motion. There we go. Awesome. I haven't really paid much attention to that so far, so that's really fun to see. It only reminded me when I killed the mines earlier. For some reason I don't remember if it ever used to trigger on the mines, but it's a really great ability. Plus we're gradually getting Maximus up to be a higher level unit. We're at level 6 at the moment. Stitchy's on his way to level 3, which is one of the few portraits I haven't unlocked yet. Ooh, account mastery still. Nice. Like I said, I do need to work on account mastery. We've still got, I think it's at 10, 2, 4, 6, 8, 11. 11 portraits to go. So, not many things I use often, but I've got plans to at least use one of these units in a future video, and we're using this one today, so got quite a bit going. Let's just jump into another game and see how we go. I did actually really like the addition of Beatris there. I think more than Stitchy, I think she just sort of, and not Stitchy, more than Snareling, she really did help block things up a little bit, make it very difficult for them to move. It's not like she dealt much damage, but that's not why I play Beatris. I play her for utility, and if she gets damage, it's great. Our assists are actually very helpful there as well, so pretty solid game. Hopefully we'll have another one which is just as good as that one, and I'll see you in game. Okay, we've queued up into our second game, so let's see what we're coming up against this time. So we've got another Zax. It's an unpainted one, it looks like, so we're not sure who we're going to be against, what sort of level of opponent. Let's see what we get here. So I think here, Plink and Vortex are the best two assists here. Escape Hatch has gone down a lot in my estimation, still useful with Quetzalli. Ion Storm is perfectly fine, pretty reasonable, but nothing fantastic. Lifeline I think is kind of decent, but only if you've got your really tough units. Orbital is zoning at best, but I think Plink and Vortex is a pretty solid choice for us. We're against Dragon Raven. Okay, so the interesting thing about Dragon Raven is that they're a very good player. This should not be surprising to anyone who's come across her in the past. Very good player, and hopefully it should be a very good game as well. I actually saw on Discord that they're playing at the moment, so hopefully this should be a couple of good games. I imagine this is a Maximus. It is. I'm shocked to my core. Okay, so here, I think that's probably the shot I would take, even though it would be tempting to go down this way. Can we get anything onto the max? No, which is also not surprising. So we just take our couple of shots. Move back as safe as we can get, which is probably around here. This is going to be slightly awkward, but because they can just move around this way and get a shot.
Instructions.
So I think that implies, well, that sort of, what's the word? I mean, I suppose behooves would work, but yeah, it sort of puts pressure on us to move in this sort of direction. And I actually think maybe even just to bring out a Deadeye just on top of Maximus and get the Plink train going. The Deadeye being on top of Maximus makes it much harder for Maximus to get away, because now with Deadeye here and Maximus, we only need to get one hit onto their max in order to be able to actually kill it between Deadeye and Plink. So basically our Maximus can miss one and this will still be fine for us. And with our Vortex as well, we can put that extra pressure on, and given that we've got Vortex next turn, we can potentially even use it for a spin if that gets us the tempo advantage. This is the shot we're going to take that we knew we were going to, but we didn't want to. But like I said, this has kept Maximus about as safe as we can do here. Both of those missing is great for us, because now their Maximus is stuck. We can actually just take this out without having to invest anything, which means our Maximus can actually try and play a little safer, so move here, get some shots, move back again. Yeah, this is absolutely great for us. So Extilior can just move here and hit. Pop over here with Deadeye, move back a bit further. Max can just come down this route. We just need to get one hit here. Oh, we've got the crit as well, so we can move back here nice and safe. Get the Plink on target here. And honestly, I think we're probably just trying to play an aggressive Blindsider Eztli. It might even be somewhere like... I think somewhere like this works, because it makes it hard for Shrapnel to get line of sight on multiple things, and with Vortex it's going to be hard for them to get away from us as well. So we do need to plan for next turn. I think next turn it would be quite nice if we could actually pull off a turn where we can just block them in. So using Vortex Beam and Beatris, we should be able to actually get two things in range of Zax depending on where he moves, probably down here. If he moves up there, we're in a good spot. A mine is a good choice here actually. Mine makes it very hard for us to get in range. But if they stay somewhere further down and we can block them in with the units, that's absolutely what we're going to do, and we're going to be able to rush Dragon Raven down into the corner. Okay, this is good. Like I said, this is a very reasonable assist. It's not fantastic, but it's decent. Corrosive here, so we can take 3 damage. This movement here is very aggressive. I don't think I agree with that. Because that means without something else of their own, this isn't going to die, so they need a place... Okay, so Titania is the choice. So obviously Max is just coming in here, taking shots and moving out again. That crit's... Wow. Double crit is huge.
What is your will?
Okay, so I actually think that changes what we want to do here. So we want to just move Extilior in, keep Maximus... keep Zax as far in as we can do. Might as well get our hit in case we do get it. We do. I actually think now we just go all in on just pushing damage through. There's no point in doing anything else. We're going to Sword of Justice here. We're going to move into range here. Pop Beatris down on this side. Just, it's not going to quite do what we need to, but if this hits, we win. Okay, it missed, but we still get our blink as well. We've really got a great spot here. I don't think there's much we can ever do to lose from this point. This was a really good series of events, being able to just sort of trap the opponent in the corner, keep applying pressure. We're ignoring their units because we don't really need to do anything. All we need is 2 damage on the captain and a blink next turn, and we've got this. So if they can't kill all of these things, basically, we're in a perfectly fine spot. I don't see a world in which this happens. Yep, so we can lose that, but we still blocked them in with the Beatris, which was the whole plan. I think this movement up here is possibly the biggest mistake Dragon Raven made this game, because it just meant there's no real way out. So they can pull out, that's fine, but if they stay in range of Beatris, they die, and I don't think there's a way here they can get out of Beatris's movement. I don't think there's a way out of this. Yeah, so Beatris can just get the kill here. I mean, if you play something here... Yeah, okay, good placement here actually helps, because maybe Beatris can't get an attack in the right line, but we've still got Deadeye right here, Maximus here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and get the nice explosion finish again, unless Dragon Raven concedes, which I wouldn't be surprised if they do, but... Okay, so, yeah, so we're just going to move here, get this, move Max in, get this shot, get the explosion. There we go. Awesome finish. Maximus taking both kills so far. Again, so Dragon Raven's actually a very good opponent. They did really well in one of the previous tournaments, so like it may not look so from their level, because they obviously haven't played as many games, but in terms of the quality of games, really good opponent. So really happy to have picked up that win. Actually, you know, quite a good showing from this list so far. Like, I really do think that Beatris is a very helpful unit. I think, so the unit we had in previous, you know, was going to be Snareling, and mostly for movement, shenanigans and that sort of thing. I think Beatris just being able to block the route rather than just snare one unit is almost more powerful for doing the same thing. So really happy once again. Gonna jump into the third game and see if we can get the hat trick. So thank you very much for watching so far, and I'll see you in the game. Okay, we've jumped into a third game. We're gonna see what happens from here. It's our Extilior again, and our opponent is... Oh, this is our first opponent. I remember this this paint job. Excellent. It's nice seeing like paint jobs that you recognise. I'm going to go Stimburst and Nanoshield. I don't think Nanoshield's as good if we can be as aggressive as we want to, but Stimburst is fantastic. It might even be my favourite assist at the moment. Disruptor and Stimburst are probably up there. Plink close behind. I actually think the assists are a lot more fun now that the new changes come in. They probably still do need some tweaks, but we haven't had enough time to get used to it fully yet. As I say, I didn't make any deal out of it, but I've actually been away for the last, I want to say, like 6 days, so it's been quite a while since I last played the game. So I'm looking forward to getting back into it as well, because obviously over the festive period I went off to see family, but now I'm back around and we can try and get this done again. So let's see what happens here. So this is a good line for our opponent. They can shoot our captain. The miss is quite important because it's not so much anything other than the additional movement that matters here, but that movement really does matter. So I don't think we can necessarily even fit past this, but they've just used their Cinder for nothing. So we can just move in here, get a couple of hits. If we get a crit, that would be nice. No, we didn't. But it's not as much as we needed the crit. It was more of a Just means that we could use Stim Burst to get slightly further with this. Now, here's another one with Beatris. I actually think could be a really good play here because, again, we've got Deadeye that can close things in, but if we can just Beatris over here, this really limits the movement, and we can almost guarantee we get in range next turn. There's not really many good angles. We've got, again, another really solid spot here. So, without their own Stim Burst... Okay, Stim Burst, here we go, that's a good choice. Again, though, that's... With our Stim Burst coming the turn after, they're not going to be particularly safe, and they've... So we know they've got 4 Cinder, though, so that's at least one big thing. Maybe this should have been a Deadeye turn, but I think forcing them to run away a little is good for us. Yeah. So I actually think if I Stim Burst here, I might even just run this way towards Deadeye. Or we could just try and go straight and... I don't think I agree with this being a mine. Yeah, this hasn't really stopped anything. We're just going to run this route and just keep our pressure up. Maximus can just move, shoot, go around again. So, we should be able to get all 3 of these quite easily. So I'm going to move slightly further up just to try and get the better angle, but it just means I want to move Maximus first. So Maximus is going to move in and shoot, and then we're going to move him after we've moved other units. Another crit. Maximus is doing really well on the crit front at the moment. So X is just going to move as far forward as we can. I'm going to hide back here with Maximus, I believe. Keep a bit safer. Beatris again moving forwards so we can get that additional pressure on here. And then for a 3-drop, this is going to be a Blindsider Eztli, and it's going to be, I think, down the back here. Again, just making it harder for them to damage or to get onto us. Or it could even just go here, but I think this makes the most sense to me. So it just means that if they're running this way, they're running towards us, and it means that we can pincer onto the Deadeye and kill it. If they're worried about trying to kill Maximus, I don't really mind if they're willing to spend 2 Cinder on that. Beatris is fine as well. So that, essentially, the way I view this is that's 3 Cinder they spent, 2 on the Grav Disc, 1 on the Mine, and it's dealt 1 damage to Beatris. Like, this is probably a misallocation of resources in a pretty large fashion. This movement I also feel is a mistake because there's no way they're going to be able to hide from us anyway. So at this point, they might as well actually be trying to just space us out, so move Deadeye this way, draw our units in a different direction. So Deadeye's going to die this turn. We don't have enough to get onto anything else, so as in we're just short here, but we can just move forwards. So Extilior gets this hit. Maximus can... maybe I made a misplay in my aim there, but... So we'll just take a couple of shots over here. That's fine. So we could just go Stitchy McPatchy and Deadeye, but I think, again, just blocking off routes using Shrapnel.
Sorry to keep you waiting.
Getting Blindsider Eztli. Again, we just want to keep things as low as possible in terms of options for our opponent. So we've used everything we can. The question is, do we want to use a Nano Shield? But there's nothing here that can really die. Especially now we've got one of these onto Maximus as well. So I'm going to save the Nano Shield for a more vulnerable turn. This is their Stim Burst turn. Ours is coming next turn. But we're not worried about where they're moving. If they're spending 2 Cinder on healing as well, then that puts us in a good spot. I'm at the point where all of our things being in this direction doesn't bother me at all. We should actually be able to get Beatris down here to get a nice hit as well. Yeah. Using this Cinder is great for us. This is also pretty good for us as well, because we've got almost guaranteed damage onto it anyway. Okay, that's a good one. That's a good play there. I like that. But we can just start chipping away at things in this direction. We can almost guarantee kill X. Ooh, that crit's nice. So if they've got a Plink as their last option, that would be good for them. Oh, is this Stasis? The good thing about this as well, though, we can actually just move Maximus right into melee range and then use him to body block for everything, which is quite funny in itself. So let's take this nice bit here. I think we probably do just Stim Burst all of these just to get that extra movement going. Yeah, so Beatris is going to go in range next turn. At this point, I'm just going to keep shooting their captain. We'll move Beatris in as close as we can get. Do the same with Extilior. Just going slightly further back. So we've got Deadeye and Stitchy or Florio. I think we just want Florio to apply more damage.
And now, go ahead.
which gets this guy in here to kill Axel Pyro. We're actually going to move him closer to the mine so that potentially they can't hit Shrapnel as well. Maximus is going to move right in to block these two in as close as he can and make him indestructible for the turn. So their only real route out is this way. They're going towards two units that have got high amounts of damage. They could even block themselves in here, in fact. And then we've got Florio to just churn out damage every turn. So this is going to be very hard for them to escape. Again, Stitchy is actually going to add up in terms of how much damage they're going to deal, heal, but I don't think it's going to outpace what we can do here. So I don't mind getting blocked off here. Extilior doesn't need to do anything. We can literally just shoot with everything else, play a Stitchy out to maybe save a bit of damage onto Eztli next turn, kill other things, and just keep applying pressure. Yeah, this is all fine. So that Shrapnel can come here and shoot these, Maximus can apply some pressure. Shrapnel can actually still move this way, I thought it might be blocked, so we can move here, get a shot onto both. His corrosive doesn't do much. Maximus is going to die to this though. So that's a... Oh no, that was placed this turn, so yeah, it doesn't even die to that.
Who designed this outfit?
Okay, so
They're always surprised.
this is the easy Shrapnel shot. Just take damage onto both of these. Oh, we can actually hit Maximus here, which is not ideal. So let's just check that range again. So if Maximus just moves in here to shoot, take the shot and move back. Let's take the shot now, nice and safe. And bombard both of these. Ah, so we're actually trapped here slightly, so we're not going to take any risks here. We're just going to place ourselves, probably just Deadeye, keep applying pressure. We'd probably rather block them on this route. We'll make sure Beatris destroys this. Get 4 more damage in this direction. And we'll keep bringing Florio into range.
The wings were a bad choice.
Beatris, I guess, could just come here and... she doesn't. It doesn't matter what she does. We want her to destroy the mine, so we'll just leave this as it is. We've got this. Obviously, is going to be a lethal hit to him. But then, where can you move that you're out of Florio range and all of this, and protect yourself at the same time, even with Stim Burst? But we've got Stim Burst too, so I think it's going to be a great follow-up. So yeah, they're going to go maybe for the victory kill into Maximus, or if they don't, we could go for 3 for 3 in terms of Maximus finishes, which if we can do, I think I want to. I want to try and do that. Okay, so that's the mine. They're just going to run away. Yeah, we're going to have to go for the Maximus finish. We want to go for 3 for 3 big Maximus explosions. Might not be too likely, but with Stim Burst and the Florio, we only need to get 1 hit.
It's their special day.
Yeah, let's do it. Oh, okay, this could be good. This could be blocking us. We can still give it increased accuracy. Okay, I think we've got this. So we're just going to bombard this. Move, Stim Burst Max. Move him up here. Get the Ozos onto Maximus. Get the shot. Zoom in. And another explosion animation. Awesome. 3 for 3. Fancy finishing all of them. Maximus getting a final kill on every captain was pretty unusual. I don't think I've ever done that before. So that was really quite cool. I'm going to have to try and keep a track of captain kill tallies. I'd love it if when the stats come up, that would be one of the stats that you can get is captains killed by each individual unit. That would be awesome. So all in all, I think I'm gradually getting more and more comfortable with the Extilior list. I think this version is better than the last one. I don't think I missed snailing at all. I think Beatris did some good work. Again, I think she's very difficult to use well. I think a lot of the time people just place her down as a defensive unit and your opponent can move around her, or they can, ignore her half the time or kite her around. And you have to be prepared for her to be kited, but you need to basically position her so that your opponent either has to move towards her, or if they move away, it's toward other things you want them to move towards. So it's something that I'm trying to practice, I'm trying to get better with. The interesting thing about today is that we've played every single one of these units except Quetzalli. We never felt like Quetzalli was the big deciding factor. So all in all, really good fun. I've really enjoyed this list. Hopefully we're going to be able to play a few more of these style of lists. If you like this video, please hit that subscribe button, drop a comment and let me know what you think, what you'd like to see in the future. Like the video, and most importantly, have a good day.